What's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here, doing another movie review. It's been a long time since I've done a movie review, and thanks to my friend Chu, I got to see 300 Rise of an Empire yesterday. Very early screening. Thank you so much, man. Super, super awesome of you. And the lovely Charlita One, she got to watch the movie too. Man, I loved 300. I read 300. 300 came out about 8 years ago. It's been a long time since we've seen a sequel to 300, which I didn't know they were actually going to do. Frank Miller wrote a book or another graphic novel. It was The Origin of Xerxes. I can't remember the exact name of it, but yeah, look it up yourself. You know what I mean? Don't tell me in the comments because I have a Google machine too. I just haven't done it yet. Anyway, in this review, I'm going to be talking about the movie. I'm sure I'm going to get through the plot. I will have spoilers, so if you don't want to hear any of the spoilers, then wait till you see the movie, then watch this review. Or, you know, if you don't care, then just keep on watching. And for the kids, you may want to, you know, talk to your parents first before watching this video, because it's the movie itself is very rated R and very awesome. A lot of cool stuff in it. So first off, I like the movie. Just my general opinion, I like the movie a lot. What was really cool about it is that it covers the past, present, and future in relationship to the original 300 movie. So there's a lot of it that takes place at the same time as 300, some of it before 300, and some of it after 300. Now the stuff that happens before 300 is they go through the origin story of Xerxes, the Persian king, which was pretty cool. Now, just kind of like 300, there's this mythos behind it, or like this magic essence of it all, and you know how he becomes king or the god king. It's just a little kind of funny. You know, he just travels through the desert and finds a cave of hermits, and then there's this gold water pool, and he steps in and he comes all and all the piercings are there all of a sudden and all that shit. But the reasoning behind that is pretty interesting. So we have our main protagonist, Themistocles, right? Is that right? Yeah, Themistocles, all right? And the names are very, very tricky, so I'm going to try to mention as few names as possible. So Themistocles is the Athenian lead general, all right? And he does the shot heard around the world. He shoots an arrow and shoots the Persian king Darius. Darius is the father of Xerxes, and basically that's what fuels the rage of Xerxes, is him watching his father die because the Greeks had done this. And Darius wanting to attack the Greeks is just basically because the Greeks had freedom and they didn't like that, so they had to squash him, you know. So Darius had an assistant who was a Greek trader, Artemisia. Artemisia, she's this Greek chick, and she's basically, go through her origin story too, to the point where she was just betrayed countless times. So she hates the Greeks, but she is Greek herself. So she's going to try to defeat the Greeks along with the Persian king Darius, and then now Darius is dead. So on Darius's last words is like only the gods could defeat the Greeks. So she's like, oh, Xerxes has to become a god. So that's how Xerxes becomes a god. Now, Artemisia and Themistocles are the main antagonists and protagonists of this movie. Xerxes not really in the movie that much. It's really mostly about Artemisia trying to defeat Themistocles. And Themistocles is pretty badass. I don't think the actor really was able to deliver lines like the actor did for Leonidas. Like for Leonidas, he gave some speeches where you're just like, oh man, I'm not even Greek, but damn, I feel patriotic as hell, you know? Themistocles, pretty good actor. I thought he was a pretty good actor and everything, but I didn't get cranked off of his speeches and stuff. And this is a 302 movie. It's a 300 sequel, so there's a lot of similarities. You know, like first off, the battles in the water, right? Like there's a lot of naval battles. That's basically what it is. Because I had already known this from watching the History Channel, that you know there's a whole naval battle going on at the same time as the Spartan battle on land, and they kind of have the similar strategies, similar kind of things go on. So there's first battle. I forgot how the Greeks defeated them. Oh yes, they had this circle formation thing going on in the water, and they had this whole thing where they were just attacking all the ships right at the side. And then they won that a second time, which I thought was the coolest part of the movie, is that they led all the Persian ships into this cove, and it was a different general. Artemisia kills the generals as soon as, you know, if they fail, you're dead. She'll cut your head off, she'll kill you. And the second naval battle, they let him into this cove, and then all their own Persian ships are bumping into each other, and then that's when you see all the Persians jumping off the cliffs and diving for him, which was really, really badass. I love that scene. That was really, really cool. And then finally, and then after that, Artemisia just takes it in her own hands and does this whole thing where they spill oil into the water, and the Greeks don't see that coming, and then there's this huge fire battle going on, and they have these Persians that have like these bombs on their backpack for backpacks, and they blow shit up, and she basically thinks she kills Themistocles, but she doesn't. Now that battle actually happens, I believe that's after my favorite part of the movie, because there's the two first battles, and she's defeated both times, so she offers a parlay with Themistocles, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, why would you show up and do this? I wouldn't have trusted her at all, but he does, and he goes on to her ship. Nobody attacks him or anything, and basically they start discussing. You know, she's a little wet. You know, she's getting a little turned on by this guy because he's whooping her ass, and she has all these other generals that can't do shit. But so she's turned on by this guy a little bit, and she starts trying to seduce him, like, hey, come to the dark side, you know what I mean? Join us and everything. You know, I got the punani, she says, and he's like, oh, well, you know, okay, and then he starts digging in, man. These are enemies, all right? Now, I don't really think this is like I think the Eva Green, the woman who played Artemisia, you know, I don't find her particularly the most attractive woman in the world. Definitely not bad looking, but the character is pretty hot, you know. And I don't know, just this full blown evil bitch. That sex scene was pretty hot, man. I mean, they're stripping the clothes off of each other. It's pretty violent. They're kind of whooping each other's asses at the same time. I mean, I had my jacket on top of my lap because I was getting a little chubby over there watching the damn movie. You know what I mean? It was pretty exciting. So I got to see some nice boobies, very, very nice boobies. I like the evergreen boobies, very, very cool. I like boobs. So there you go. And but the sexing was really nice. There's this one part that was like, whoa, when he turns around, slams her on the table in the doggy style, then pulling at the hair. You know, I was like, damn, dude's fucking getting in there, man. So that was a pretty hot sex scene, and then my voice is cracking. I'm embarrassing myself, but yeah, that was awesome. And then she finally, you know, like to kind of seal the deal, because she took it as, okay, you're gonna put your dick in me, so that's gonna make us, you know, teammates or whatever. And then she asked like one more time, and he's like, no. And she's like, oh, she's all mad, and no more pussy for you, and oh, I hate you. She cuts him, and then tells him to get off the boat or whatever. So that was that, and then we have the fire battle, which was really badass. Very, very cool. Now, one thing also is, in the meantime, Themistocles is asking the Spartans to join him, and whether during the battle of the 300 and after, and every time he goes to what was the name, Queen Gorgo? Yeah, Queen Gorgo, Leonidas' wife, which I really think is cool that the women in this movie are very, very powerful, just as powerful, if not more powerful than the men. It's kind of an interesting thing. I'm always all for equal rights, so it's kind of neat to see power getting shifted to, you know, the opposite sex of myself. So it's pretty neat. So so she says no, you know, and they talk like real like business. And she's like, no, like how much more after Leonidas dies? Like, who else do you want? You want all of the children of Sparta? Like, what else do you want from us? We're gonna give you Leonidas. And he's like, oh, but you know, he's like, okay, cool. He knows not to screw with the Spartans. Now, the Athenians in this movie are badass. It's very, very important that they are great fighters, but I think they did a good job in this movie of making it very, very clear that the Spartans are still the #1 badass motherfuckers of Greece, because the way they present them, the way they show them, it's like they do hike them up on that platform, but they're already up there because we saw the first 300 movie. What I'm saying is that they don't get dwindled down at all because we see some badass shit from the Athenians. You can clearly see the Athenians don't have the same kind of tight formation as the Spartans do, and they're just not as aggressive and brutal as the Spartans, but still very badass Athenians with their fighting style. One thing I have to also mention is that I did see this movie in 3D. I like the 3D. 3D was good. Good stuff. So if you get the option to see it in 3D, I say go for it, because there's a lot of blood, you know. And the movie's kind of like an anime with the blood, by the way. It's just swoosh, swoosh, you know what I mean? It's what you expect from a 300 movie, you know what I mean? Did you like my little blood hands effect thing? Anyway, the fire-water fight, she thought that she killed Themistocles, and then later on, let me see. Oh yeah. And then the Hunchback guy, the traitor, the Spartan traitor, the Hunchback from the first movie, he is sent by Xerxes to deliver the sword of Leonidas, because Leonidas has died. So it's like the Spartans are woven in and out of this movie, which I really think was cool. We didn't just ditch the Spartans for the sequel. And to send the message, so he brings the sword of Leonidas to Themistocles, and then Themistocles takes it to Gorgo and asks her again, and she says no. Well, again, we're having our final battle, our fourth battle at the end of the movie, with the Artemisia again, and fighting the Greeks, attacking the Greeks with ships and stuff, and then basically, you know, Themistocles just goes nuts. There's this whole scene that's just quite ridiculous. You may have seen it in the trailers where he's on the horse and he's jumping off a ship, diving in the water, popping out of the water, running off a ship, kill everybody on the ship, jump onto the next ship, kill everybody on that ship, and he just basically runs through everything. It's pretty ridiculous, but fun to watch. He gets to Artemisia's ship and then finally battles her. They have a really cool fight scene, and then he stabs her again, except this time with the sword instead of the wiener, and then kills her, so she dies. And that's pretty much it. And right after that, the Spartans show up, and with all their ships and everything, and they help fight the Persians, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. And then you see Xerxes on the top of the hill with his humongous army behind him. So there's going to be a third installment to this 303. We just saw 302. So that's pretty much it. That's how the movie went. I liked it a lot of violence, a lot of gore, a great sex scene, evergreen, you're fucking fine, good job, love your boobs. Hope you guys like this review, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.